Up with KREM begins now.
It is 7 o'clock on your Friday morning. Right now on Up with KREM, Sacred Heart has administered the first COVID vaccine in Spokane County. We are live with Nicole Hernandez for the latest this morning.
Yeah, I'm live now here at Sacred Heart, where a local physician was the first person to get it, and it was a symbol of hope. There was a lot of cheering. We'll tell you everything you need to know about that coming up.
Well, an FDA advisory panel is recommending Moderna's coronavirus vaccine be authorized for emergency use.
Our vote was even more overwhelming tonight.
What's next and how this could help rural areas get better access to the vaccine.
Pfizer says they have millions more doses of the coronavirus vaccine sitting in their warehouse with no instruction of where to send them, despite communication with Operation Warp Speed. And midnight tonight marks the hopeful deadline for Congress to pass a new relief bill. If it does pass, we'll tell you how much you can expect in a stimulus check, when it could come, and how to make sure you can get one.
And don't call me the Grinch. We're talking near 50-degree temperatures as we head into the weekend, and that ruins our chances of a white Christmas.
We do want to bring breaking news this morning. A huge day here in Spokane County, not only following on the heels of Vice President Mike Pence receiving his vaccine earlier this morning, but now we have news for you this morning that the first coronavirus vaccine in Spokane County has been administered to a local doctor. We're going to check in with Nicole Hernandez, who is not only there live for that moment, but also she got to sit there and listen to the response and hear about the doctor himself and his reaction. Nicole, you were in that room. You told us it was a little bit emotional. Tell us what it was like.
Yeah, Joshua, so I was able to watch that live stream, and it was really inspiring to see how excited all of the staff and Dr. Joho were to actually get that vaccine, of course. And we want to get straight to the video. I want to show you that. Dr. Joho was able to speak before he got the vaccine, and he did say that he was, doing this as inspiration for other people of color, because he's seen the adverse effects of this virus on our community here. So Dr. Joho was the first to get a vaccine here in Spokane County at Sacred Heart. He is a transplant physician here at Sacred Heart and is part of a group of Spokane doctors and nurses and caregivers that are going to be getting that vaccine today. The live stream started with a blessing from Providence's mission leader. Then Dr. Joho talked quickly about how important getting the vaccine is. This all comes as Washington State continues Part 1A of the vaccine distribution plan. As of yesterday, the state had given out a total of 1,159 vaccines. Now we can make that 1,160. This all is happening, of course, exactly 1 year, almost exactly 1 year at least, after we just started talking about the coronavirus on Up with KREM. And now, after this long of talking about and dealing with this pandemic personally and professionally, of course, seeing that was a symbol of hope for a lot of people, knowing that in the coming months, hopefully we can start to get back to even more normalcy. Live in Spokane, I'm Nicole Hernandez.
And of course, we're going to continue to cover this story as we see more healthcare providers receiving the vaccine and also providing them to all of us, receiving their first shipments, by the way, of Pfizer's COVID vaccine this week, Tim.
Yeah, and here's what we know about how many vaccines are already here and how many can be expected in the future.
The Spokane Regional Health District says that the county has been allocated 3,900 vaccines, and right now it is not clear how many doses are in Spokane right now. Spokane County, excuse me. The state will be receiving 62,400 doses overall of Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine.
The Department of Health says Washington will get 222,000 doses by the end of this month. That's who healthcare facilities will receive their vaccines from. And if the Moderna vaccine is approved, Washington could receive another 180,000 doses this month. That's about 400,000 total before the start of the new year. Providence confirmed Wednesday it received just under 4,000 doses of the vaccine. A spokesperson for them said these doses are not enough to cover all of its high-risk caregivers, but they are confident in future supplies. Multi-Care confirmed on Wednesday that they'll receive a shipment next week. They couldn't give specifics on a timeline or dosage numbers. Both organizations also confirmed none of the vaccines will be available to the general public. They'll go to the highest risk workers, the ones most directly exposed to the virus, and even then, this first batch won't be enough to cover everyone.
Now, long-term care facilities have their own program to receive the vaccine. A partnership was established between the federal government and major pharmacies to help with distribution. We called around to some facilities throughout our area and confirmed that many of them, including the Spokane Veterans Home, the Gardens on University, and Evergreen Fountains, all have signed up to get vaccines from either CVS or Walgreens. However, none of those facilities had any information on how many doses they might get or when they might get them.
So the Panhandle Health District received 975 doses. The health district is set to receive 1,950 doses of the vaccine. Spokesperson Catherine Hoyer says they are storing the vaccines until they can distribute them to their healthcare partners. The shipment represents about 14% of all vaccines given to Idaho. The health district made partnerships to have dry ice on hand to help store the vaccines. Meanwhile, Whitman County received its first shipment of the vaccine, and you can see on your screen the arrival of that first batch of vaccines. Pfizer must be stored at negative 100 degrees Fahrenheit, which is why Washington State University is storing the doses in ultra-cold freezers. And Gritman Medical Center in Moscow is ready for their first coronavirus distribution. Their vaccine storage systems are being monitored by technology made on the Palouse by Schweitzer Engineering Labs. The first shot is expected to be administered at 12:15 this afternoon, and KREM will be live to cover that event today.
Now, early this morning, as we mentioned, Vice President Mike Pence received his COVID-19 vaccine. You can see it there. After his vaccine, the vice president did speak about the importance of Americans remaining vigilant while they wait for their turn to get the vaccine.
Karen and I were more than happy to step forward before this week was out to take the safe and effective coronavirus vaccine.
And of course, after that, we know that he did say usually vaccines are developed over 8 to 10 years compared to the 8 months for Pfizer's and Moderna's vaccines to be created. Meanwhile, an FDA advisory panel is now recommending Moderna's coronavirus vaccine be authorized as well for emergency use.
The same group of scientists endorsed Pfizer's vaccine. Moderna's vaccine doesn't require the ultra-cold storage that Pfizer's does, meaning it can better reach rural communities.
It looks like the benefits outweigh the risk from what I've seen.
Our vote was even more overwhelming tonight.
The FDA says it will work rapidly to authorize Moderna's vaccine. Nearly 6 million doses could start shipping out in the days ahead.
Let's take a look outside. We know that Christmas is just 1 week away, so Jeremy's already been warning us to be prepared for it not to be a white one, right?
You know, it's just way too warm, and we're getting even warmer as we head into the weekend. So what you can expect is more rain working its way into the forecast. This morning we're pretty dry, might catch a little bit of stray moisture early on, but temperatures hovering in the mid-30s, that's above freezing. You don't need me to tell you that. Not until you get into Libby, Montana or Omak are you finding those temperatures dropping down below the 32-degree mark. That means that anything that falls through the first half of the day is going to be rain, and anything that falls through the second half of the day is going to be rain, because we're going to watch those temperatures really start to bump up. So we could get a midday shot, another little evening shot of moisture, but here's those temperatures today. Up near 40 degrees here in Spokane, upper 30s as you make your way into North Idaho. And if you think 40 in the second week of December, closing in on the third week of December, knocking on the door of the official start of winter, if you think that's warm, well, I've got news for you. Saturday and Sunday get even warmer. 43 Saturday, maybe a little sun to start the day, but then rain moves in, wind takes over, and temperatures climb to near 50 on Sunday, Tim.
Thanks so much, Jeremy. Your next stimulus check may be on its way, though it may not be coming until January. We'll tell you how you can make sure you get it as fast as possible. Well, the bars are closed, so it's the time to get creative, especially when it comes to cocktails this holiday season. We have Renee Sabula, a cocktail historian, to teach us a holiday twist on the first and original cocktail.
This drink is called the smoked apple old fashioned. This uses just a basic rocks glass. They call this the original, the first cocktail. A cocktail has just 4 ingredients: spirits, sugar, water, and bitters, and that's exactly what we have in the old fashioned. I've made some cinnamon syrup for this one, and again, easy to make. Store them in the refrigerator. They're just great. This is just an atomizer that's filled with a little bit of scotch. I'm going to spritz the glass with the scotch, and immediately it just has that great peaty smoke scent. Then I'm going to take a couple spoonfuls, 1 to 2, of the cinnamon syrup. This requires apple spice bitters. I sell little apple spice bitters kits so you can make them yourself. And so I'm going to put in 4 to 5 dashes. I'm going to use a really good Tennessee whiskey. This is from Uncle Nearest, 1.5 to 2 ounces. And again, as you can see, this is all just going right into the glass. So as a bartender, you would just say, I'm building this in the glass. I'm going to add some ice. To do a proper stir, you just hold the bar spoon like a pencil. That just goes against the inside of the glass. The bottom of the spoon never leaves the bottom or the back of the glass. And you just follow the inside of the glass around. And really what you're doing is you're just moving the liquid around the ice. You want that ice just to slowly melt, and that water then helps to blend and really opens up the spirit. This is great to garnish with an apple slice. I made some dried orange wheels with a little spice on it, so that can just float in there. And there you have it, a smoked apple old-fashioned.
Well, we are all pretty mesmerized here, and we're going to continue sharing more Christmas cocktails all morning long right here on Up with KREM.